So this is the speedrun for Last Stand 2, done by me. 80th attempt. This was done on my Flash, not emulator, but it's a Flash player. And so, as you can see, I have accidentally cropped out a little chunk of the bottom screen. That doesn't really do anything because of the base game. That's just ammo count. So you're barely going to see my ammo count. At least you'll see it go down. So there's no reason, this will be like, he cheated. He cut out the part. I have no idea what that white line is for. Anyway, so I'm gonna go over the speed run, the history of it, I guess, since there's not much to talk about tech-wise, and my plans later for speedrun in general. So right here, I kind of messed up a bit. This is my first run of the day, and I completely forgot which places I needed to loot. That's great because I got 2 survivors and a chainsaw. So I equipped the chainsaw. I never really thought to use the chainsaw up until this point. For some reason, it was just in the middle of the run. I was like, oh, I should probably use the chainsaw to clear out, quick enemies like this. And thankfully I did because it saved a lot more time than if I were to just, pistol kill them. Um, so time says 9:49. That's a time that I knew was very possible. Technically, still 7 minutes is possible. But there's no way. Glendale, I think I got 3 or 4 days on that instead of my PB, which was 5. I got 4 days on Glendale. Whistler's Grove, I think I got 3 days or 2 days. I think it was 2 days actually. We'll see. Um, so we saved about 40 seconds in Glendale and about 2 minutes in Whistler's Grove. This basically was, this happens often, and I'll be like, 2 minutes 40 seconds ahead. This is very common during this part, but the part that really screws me over is Aspenwood, which I will normally lose either all my time or at the very least a minute, because getting good RNG on Glendale and Whistler's Grove and also on Aspenwood is extremely rare to the point where I didn't really think it'd be doable, so I didn't really care. But thankfully, Jonestone, I also got 1 day, so my net value was I end up skipping, I think, 2 days. So I equipped the revolver because it does, I think, 2 headshots. And the cool thing about this is that AI shoots a lot more, which means they'll deal damage as well, which means it doesn't take 2 headshots per zombie. It usually will take one if the AI survivors can do enough damage themselves. And I think Last Stand 2 is much better than 1 casually because AI does a lot more. I think the scavenging system makes more sense. Like you're more likely to find supplies and weapons in certain buildings, I think. I also like the traveling system. You can run around. It's like, more population means the difficulty is going to be higher, but then you'll find more survivors and you may find better weapons. Um, but for the sake of this, I just chose the places that the previous world record, which was 14 minutes, did. And 14 minutes is still second place. So if you want a quick RNG, easy, good time in this game, you just have to beat 14 minutes. It's really not that hard. Um, like 11:15 was considered lucky for me, and then now sub 10 is like just amazing luck. But you can easily go further if you feel like you're a lucky person. So Whistler's Grove, we're gonna pick up the bow here, and the bow is interesting. The bow is the only weapon that cannot be equipped by other survivors, besides the chainsaw. My bad. Um, and it's a one-shot reload. So like if I want to stop using it, I don't have to wait for the reload animation. I just have to wait for it to cock back into its position and then stop using it. Unlike other guns where it's like, oh, the reload animation takes forever. So there's day 1. I think I only do like a certain amount of. I think it was only 2 days. And as you can see, I'm struggling to find which houses to pick, and thankfully I just picked the right ones because now I have 4 days of supplies. I think this allows me to go. I can't equip weapons. Usually I'll give my best guns to the top guys, but this time I gave them to the bottom guys. Like I gave the revolver to him, and I gave the shotgun to the guy up top when we had, I think, 4 survivors. Um, so as you can see, it's doing a lot of damage, and I take this weapon. It's not the best weapon. I honestly think there's like better guns out there up at this point. But again, people can't equip this, so to make things better, and if you're consistent, because if you're just mashing the button, you won't get as much shots as if you were to time them properly. So we're gonna keep this weapon. Unfortunately, we're gonna lose it in Aspenwood when I switch to the hunting rifle, which is ridiculously OP. If you're good at popping off headshots, as I'm not with the bow, um, so you know, hunting rifle is really good at pierce enemies. So that was pretty lucky. This doesn't happen. It's not rare. It's pretty common actually that I'll save 2 minutes right there. It's Aspenwood that's deadly because basically, unless you get it on your first day, you're not gonna save time. You're going to lose time. So there I got the hunting rifle and the shotgun. So I'm just quickly equip those. So I didn't get the first day, so I lost about a minute. But that's fine because I got first day on Jonestown, which was amazing because Jonestown is a level you do not want to hang around by. I think if you stay there any more than like 2 to 3 days, your run may not even be completed because survivors may start dying if enemies with weapons can get to them, and I think it just gets a lot more difficult, and you don't have a whole lot of health in Jonestown. But I have a certain building, 3 buildings that I hit. I think it's 3 or 4 buildings that I hit in specific order. Thankfully, that guy up there didn't kill the survivor up here. Anyway, so I'm gonna go over for the last 3 minutes my plans for speedrunning. So Last Stand 2 is done. I think sub 10 is where it's at. I don't know if I can. I mean I can grind the time down, but I don't think I'm gonna want to right now. It just requires a lot of luck, and I've been at this, before I even beat 14 minutes. So this was my first attempt of the day. I was like, I was thinking about doing more than just one. Um, but after today, I mean, I understand how much luck is needed, and it was crazy. So there's not enough supplies to go to Joneston, so that's nice. I checked for some reason because I don't really know much about this game, despite having played so much of it. Last Stand 1, I the speedrun still sits at 18:58. I tried to beat it a while back, and you know I was able to chip some time off, but I wasn't able to PB. Like for Last Stand 1, every split of mine is a gold split, and the lowest amount of time that I lost on splits was like 2 seconds. That was the lowest amount of time I've lost. I was never able to save time except for the last split. I saved exactly 8 seconds. So it's like, I can save time on the last split fairly consistently. I think last attempt before quitting was like 5 seconds, but it's always the first, like, you know, 19 days where, I'll lose 5 seconds, 8 seconds, 20 seconds, and it all depends on luck and just how well I am at shooting. And I haven't been doing so well. Here I'm doing fine. Anyway, so those 2 games are done. If people want to go ahead and go beat them, that's great. If you just want to, speed around the game for yourself because you like it a lot, you know, you know, I'm willing to give out tips and tricks to anyone who wants to speedrun this game. Last Stand Union City, I'm not done yet. I'm still pushing for sub 11. It's gonna be the hardest to do, but it's definitely doable. Anyway, so we're on Jonestown right now, and so yeah, I always do these areas, the ones with the dollar signs. I got enough supplies to get the heck out of here. I forgot to equip a gun. I was thinking, oh shoot, he doesn't have a gun. That sucks. I'm gonna disable my mic and make it so you can hear. Oh, I think I disabled audio. I'm not entirely sure. Well, I'll see if I disabled audio. Um, but if not, I'm gonna just cut capture. This is a pre-recording that I did. When I did this game, I didn't have audio playing and I didn't have my mic on. Because honestly, I didn't care. I didn't know how long I was gonna be here. It could have been one attempt. It could have been 20 attempts. And so I was like, it doesn't matter. Um, I was listening to another video at the same time. He was like, I think it was. They were joke videos about Fallout 4. They're pretty funny. I may put a link in the description of the videos. But also a survivor died. I actually didn't even notice that survivor had died. Well, I'm glad I got the supplies in, or else I may have not would have survived another one. Because is that the health was at 10. I literally can tell it's about to break. I didn't even notice that survivor was dead. I was so focused on just finishing. So I think I wouldn't have lasted. And if I would have put all my time to constructing the fence. So I did my clicking so well, and boom, 9:49. I did frame count. It is 9:49 because time starts and ends on your first input and your last input. I did have audio. I sound dumb. Two forever. That's a sub 10. That's really freaking good.